It's time to get you ready for all of Sunday's action with your hosts Lou Desmond and Jeremy James.
Okay, so here we are on a Sunday morning, getting ready for your NFL Sunday. Lou and Jeremy, and of course, the very first segment on Sunday mornings here, as we celebrate yet another outstanding Fighting Irish win over the Wolfpack yesterday.
Who's celebrating that?
I am, actually.
You enjoy that, Lou.
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, but this is an NFL show, so enough about college. Did I mention the Irish won again yesterday? Just saying. All right, so straight to the picks. A lot of picks this week. The Specumetrix computer is feeling it, apparently. We're at about 58% for the season. Got to pick it up.
You know, before we jump into it, Lou,
Yeah.
I got to tell people, go to the website.
Oh, the new site is great.
We've got a brand new Specumetrix.com website. Specumetrix is SPECUMETRIX. Specumetrix.com. We just redid the website, and it's looking a lot more fancy.
Yeah, the new site is a lot better.
Good stuff.
2.0, doing much better. All right, so we will jump right into it. The Falcons are visiting the New York Jets. And, boy, the Falcons have not looked great.
No, they do not look at all like a team that just lost the Super Bowl.
You know, how much Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, leaving has impacted them quite a bit, apparently.
That's the biggest thing. Losing their offensive coordinator and a couple of their other positional coaches has really taken its toll on that team. You can see it.
Yeah, it's been a bigger hit than expected, and the Jets, the surprising Jets, they've played pretty well. Falcons are not a great road team. The Jets are at home. The computer likes the Jets plus a touchdown. Jets plus 7.
Wow.
Yeah, you're shocked by that?
Yeah, I mean, even as bad as the Falcons have looked this season so far, I mean, it's still the Jets.
Keep in mind,
they're playing much better than people expected.
Keep in mind, the average score differential in the NFL is 3 points. Most games are won by 3 points or less. The blowouts stick out in our minds because that's just the way that we are as human beings. But the average point differential in your average NFL games is 3 points or less. 7 points is a lot in an NFL game. Yeah. The Jets are at home. The Falcons haven't been playing well. The Jets have been playing better than expected. They play good defense. They run the ball. They don't turn the ball over a lot. I'm with the computer on this one. Jets plus 7. The Chargers. Okay, ready for this? The Chargers have won 3 games in a row. Does that shock you?
Definitely.
3 games in a row the Chargers have won. I saw that stat and I went, really? I had to go back and look it up.
They're an odd team. They're one of those teams that they look like on paper they should be
a lot better than they are.
At the top of the league.
Right.
They lose games near the end a lot. They blow leads in the fourth quarter. They mess up those last minute chances to win by missing field goals or throwing a pick. They do that a lot. So, I mean, in a way, it's sort of strange that they won 3 games in a row, but at the same time, not a huge surprise. So they do have the players on that team.
All right, so the Chargers go into Foxborough to play the Patriots, and the computer loves the Chargers here. Chargers plus a touchdown. It opened at Chargers plus 5.5, went all the way up to plus 7 or 8 in some places.
Wow.
Plus 7 is where it sits now with most of the Vegas books. I like the Chargers plus a touchdown. The Patriots have not played good defense, and they just lost their all-world everything linebacker.
Again.
Yeah. So that defense is vulnerable. I think Phillip Rivers has 300 yards passing, and the Patriots win, but I think it's going to be by 3 points or 2 points or something like that in the end. So the Chargers plus 7, that's another recommended pick.
So that's where we are in Week 8 of the 2017 season. We're betting against the Patriots?
No, we're not betting against them. We're betting with them, but with the Chargers plus a touchdown. The Patriots are going to win, but it's going to be 33-30, 32-34. It's going to be Tom Brady scoring a touchdown to go ahead with 10 seconds left is basically what we're saying. Like they did against the Houston Texans, like they've been doing that all year. They're not winning by a lot of points most of the time.
They're just kind of pulling it out.
They're having to pull it out at the end.
Yeah.
So Phillip Rivers has a field day, goes for 300 yards, and this would be a typical Phillip Rivers thing. 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and lose. That's Phillip Rivers.
Right? That's Charger football.
Right, Charger football. So that's what we're going to get today. This pick I am not crazy about because I think the computer, you got to keep in mind, the computer just sees numbers. And the Carolina Panthers played lousy the first few games of the season. The Bucs -2? That's the recommended pick. I'm not crazy about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not looked very good. Jameis Winston's a knucklehead. You know, this is my all knucklehead quarterback game. Cam Newton against Jameis Winston. You know how I love both those guys.
Next question, please.
I don't know. Bucs -2 is the recommended pick. I'm not crazy about it. The Colts, who have looked terrible all year, go to Cincinnati to take on the mighty Bengals.
Actually, the Bengals are going to the Colts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. My bad. The Bengals go to the Colts.
It matters.
It matters. Yes. Sorry. My bad. The Colts are getting 10.5 at this point in this game. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points at home, even to a crappy team. The computer likes the Colts plus the 10.5.
The Bengals aren't that great.
The Bengals aren't that great. Colts plus 10.5 at home, as bad as they've been. Yeah, I'll take the Colts plus the 10.5 in this game. And so will the computer. Another surprising team that, by the way, has been great if you're a betting person. And by the way, we don't recommend that anyone bet. Sports betting, by the way, is illegal in the state of California. Closest place you can do it legally is in Nevada. So don't bet the milk money. This is all for entertainment purposes only. There's your legal disclaimer. Bears, surprising Bears. This game is in Chicago, correct? Bears, New Orleans?
Yes, Saints at the Bears.
Okay. So Drew Brees doesn't play great outdoors. He doesn't seem to like real grass very much. The Bears have been surprisingly good. This line is huge to me.
That's too big.
Bears plus 10? Bears plus 10 at home.
One minute.
I love the Bears here plus 10. All right, Cowboys in the afternoon game. This started at 2.5, then 2. Now it's -1, which basically means it's a pick 'em. The Cowboys at home. I think you've got to take the Cowboys minus the 1 point at home versus the Washington Redskins. And then the Texans go to Seattle. Seattle can't score points.
Seattle's going to the Texans.
Seattle goes to the Texans.
That one actually does matter.
Yeah, that matters. I've got to say here, I love the Texans plus the 6.5. Because Deshaun Watson's going to score some points. Seattle's defense is tough, but yeah, he's still going to score some points. So there you go. All right, your picks. Jets plus 7, Chargers plus 7, Bucks -2, blah. Colts plus 10.5, Bears plus 10, Cowboys -2, Texans all the way up to plus 6.5 or 7 in most places. Now, all right, there you go. There's your Specumetrix picks for this Sunday here on the Specumetrix kickoff show.
There you go.
All right. Right back with Raider Talk right after this.
We'll be right back with
All clear. 1 minute. $30 seconds. Okay, here we go, guys. 10 seconds.
SECURESERV44 Let Secure Serve be your next step. SecureServe44
Listen up, Raider Nation. It's time for Raider Talk on the Specumetrix Sunday Kickoff.
Go Raiders!
Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that.
All right, so no Marshawn Lynch, no problem for the Raiders, right, Jeremy, this Sunday in Buffalo?
Well, the way he's been playing, I'm going to say probably not much of a problem, to be honest with you. He hasn't been beast mode since week 1. A few good runs here and there.
Yeah, he picks up an 8-yard run here and there.
But he hasn't been dominant. He
No.
hasn't been consistent. And you've got Richard and Washington who are going to carry the load this week. They'll split the carries.
I like both those running backs. They're fast. They got some quick to them.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
And we're going up against a Bills defense that is been playing fantastic football this season, but they are dinged up. They got a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys.
And they just traded a guy, too.
Yeah, they just got rid of Marcel Darius, sent him to Jacksonville. So,
Which, by the way, I heard was not a popular move in the locker room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Buffalo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they wanted to keep him around. Oh, hey, you
go.
You messed up my camera.
I did actually.
running around looking for your phone, you messed up my camera.
Sorry.
All
right, you look better now.
I'm all cattywampus.
Yeah, we were getting like half of your face. It was
Ah,
it
that's
was
great.
interesting. It was like an avant-garde film. All right, so I'm having post-traumatic stress Raider fan disorder because I think about Buffalo, and what I remember is the Raiders playing the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game like 4 years in a row and losing like 37-3 every year.
That was a long
In Buffalo.
time ago.
I know. It's just what I remember, though. You know, you think Raiders and Bills.
That we are so far away from
I-
Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly.
I understand that. I'm just saying, if you're a Raider fan, when you think of the Raiders and Bills, that's what you think of. The other thing you think of is the Raiders are terrible going back east. See what I'm saying about having post-traumatic Raider fan disorder? Because what do I remember? I remember 30 years ago, the Bills beating us repeatedly in AFC playoff games when we had that tall, blonde quarterback. What was his name? Jay Schrader?
Jay Schrader, yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, former Redskin.
Yeah,
Schrader was
bad, terrible. Anyway, so different look Raiders, different look Bills. This is the Derek Carr Raiders against the Tyrod Taylor Bills. Now, the books love Buffalo in this game.
Well, yeah, it's
90% of the people are picking Buffalo to win.
It's in Buffalo. They've got a good defense. They got a running game. The Raiders have been up and down. So I sort of understand, especially with it being in Buffalo. But starting last season, the Raiders showed and proved they can win on the road now. They can go across the country and beat a team. They've been doing it for the last couple of years now, unlike previous seasons. So I like the Raiders today. I think the Bills' offense is not great. They are missing some pieces. They got a running game, yeah. And they've got a good defense, but they do have some
They don't have a
injuries
running
today.
game. They have LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
That's what they have.
That
And
is
Tyrod Taylor scrambling.
that is their running game, and most people would like to have that as a running
They don't
game
have a
in the
great
NFL.
offensive line.
No, but
It's
they're-
McCoy making it and Taylor making it up.
They're winning football games. They got a good D, but like I said, they are missing some key guys on defense. They're a little dinged up here and there. So, I think the Raiders have a very solid chance of going back east and winning that game this morning.
Look, our vulnerability on defense is the passing game. not the running game.
No, and especially now with the extra injuries we have in the secondary. David Amerson is out today. Conley is out again. So, I mean, we're going to be starting Smith and I forget who else.
Yeah, again, that's where the Raiders are in terms of the defensive secondary.
Smith and Carey, I think, are going to be starting today at cornerback for us.
But here's the thing. Who at wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills scares you?
Nobody.
No,
they got
their tight end, their starting tight end, Clay,
he's out.
Is out.
Zay Jones, a rookie.
You know how I know he's out for sure?
Because he's on your fantasy.
Because he was on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Yes, I know. You can tie everything back to your fantasy.
Absolutely.
team,
I know for sure.
yeah, but they are going to have Matthews. He will be playing today. He's not going to be inactive, but he's also been struggling this season. So they don't have anyone other than McCoy that really frightens me. And
Taylor's
legs.
scrambling.
Taylor's legs, yeah.
So our strength on defense is against the run. Our weakness is against the pass. They don't pass the ball particularly well. Tyrod Taylor is not a great pocket passer, and they don't have any receivers that are going to run away from you. So
No, when you're dealing with a second-string tight end, a rookie receiver, and a guy who's banged up.
And Tyrod Taylor is not a great pocket passer. That's not his game.
You know, I know this is kind of out of the left field a little bit, but I saw something I didn't even realize was happening with the Bills. Did you know Anquan Bolden is on that team still?
What?
I just saw something that Anquan Bolden
he's not playing.
He's asking for a trade.
Yes, he retired
Oh, is that what it was?
because he didn't want to play for the Bills anymore.
Oh, okay.
But the Bills own his rights.
Oh, and he wants to go play somewhere.
And he wants to go play somewhere else, and they're saying,
All right.
we're not just going to let you walk. Somebody's going to have to trade for you, and he doesn't have any trade value.
Yeah. No, not at all.
So, I mean, would you? I'd take a 7th-round pick for him. I mean, the guy's not going to play for you.
No, if you can get a 7th round
You can
pick.
get a 7th-round pick?
Yeah,
Take it.
absolutely. He's at the end of his career, so.
Exactly. So the Raiders go in. They play Buffalo today. This is a big game. I mean, I hate to say must win at this point in the season, but you got to start stringing together some wins.
Oh no, it really kind of is a must win. I mean, we're sitting at 4 losses already, with 9 games still to go. And we're behind 2 full games in the division. So it is a big game. It's an important game, and it's a game that can be a big momentum builder.
Look, here's another thing that people are overlooking, I think, in this game. We've had 3 extra days of rest. Yeah. We played Thursday night.
Yeah, we got the little mini bye.
Right. So, we got that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 extra days of rest and sort of a mini bye. We're coming in fresh. The Raiders can travel now. We have a really good offense. I'm actually really excited to see Jalen Richard get a lot of time and Washington coming in on 3rd downs. I think those two are going to be fun to watch.
Coming off a big win, too.
And look for the wrinkle. You had an extra few days. You're putting in 2 kind of gadget running backs, screen passes, jet sweeps.
I got a bold prediction for today.
Yes.
Cordero Patterson scores his first kickoff return as a Raider.
That would be fun.
I think he's going to get his first one today. Actually, I have 2 bold predictions.
Let's have some bold predictions.
Bold prediction number 2, the Raiders get their first interception of the season.
Tyrod Taylor, it could.
I have a feeling Taylor's going to throw at least 1 pick. We are going to get a pick this week. We're going to pick off Taylor.
Who's that guy? Okay, Melifonwu. Who's the guy? Obi
Melifonwu.
Now, who's coming in? Who's coming in at safety? There's that young guy coming in at safety today because the starter is out.
Carl Joseph is inactive. He is out, and they've got I forget the kid's name.
I know his name is escaping me too. But here's the thing: he led the team in turnovers in preseason. He had an interception and a fumble recovery as a safety. And his name is escaping me too. But
yeah, I'm trying to find it here.
Yeah, I know. This show prep, it helps.
Yeah.
But it's something that just popped into my mind here at the last minute. It is going to be raining in Buffalo today.
Really?
Yes, just so you know.
All right. Fantastic.
So it's going to be wet. with Joseph Luani. That's his name.
Yeah. He might see some playing time today.
He is going to start.
Oh, is he going to be the starter?
Shalom Luani
Oh, yeah,
will start.
That was going to be that McGill kid or whatever his name was.
They say Luani is going to start. Jack Del Rio says he's excited to see him on the field. And
the kid looked good in
Yeah.
preseason. He showed a spark. He showed a nose for the ball. He's quick. He's
he
a
recovered an
solid hitter.
onside kick attempt by the Tennessee Titans, and he also had an interception in preseason.
So, yeah, no, I like the kid. I'd like to see him play and get some time in there.
So shalom to Luani is what
But
we're saying today.
There's a chance we'll be getting, if he's ready to play and he's healthy, Obi Fawn will be able to play. He'll be eligible to play next week, week 9,
Okay.
if he can go. So we might get that young man back for the second half of the season. And while, I don't expect him to be a superstar right away, he will be a solid addition to that defense.
Their starting corner, E.J. Gaines for the Bills, is ruled out for the game.
Yes, Gaines is out.
He's out.
Ramon Humber, their outside linebacker, he is also out. Jordan Poyer, their free safety, I think he's their third safety, but he's also out as well. So
Yeah, they're dinged up on defense.
They're dinged up a little bit. They got a couple of guys nursing some minor injuries who are still playing, but not at 100%.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a hard-fought game, but I like the Raiders' chances.
Another thing to watch here, why I say screen game and some gadget stuff. The Bills' linebacking core is extremely aggressive. They tend to overplay on play-action passes and also get caught in the screen game. I say you do some misdirection with them. Carr is good with the ball fakes. I'm looking forward to some screens and some gadget plays to get that really aggressive Buffalo offense. Maybe some misdirection counter plays, that sort of thing. They're a very aggressive defense. Show them some eye candy. Go the other way. Just saying. Prediction.
I'm going to go Raiders 27, Bills 19.
I'm going to go a little bit lower scoring because of the weather. I'm going to go Raiders 21, Bills 17.
I think we're going to get that extra touchdown from the kick return.
All right. Raider talk is over. Come back. We'll talk about fantasy football and then the games of the week here on the Specumetrix Kickoff Show.
We'll be right back.
1 minute. Thirty seconds. Okay, here we go, guys.
$1 million insurance policy. Easer is your last mile solution. That's geteaser.com.
Listen up, you armchair quarterbacks. It's time for the Easer Fantasy Moves of the Week. Visit geteaser.com. Now here are your hosts, Lou and Jeremy.
Back here on the Specumetrix kickoff show here on a football Sunday. Time for fantasy football with Jeremy, but first, a quick shout out. By the way, today is my lovely wife's birthday. So happy birthday to Nicole.
Happy birthday, Nicole.
All right, off to fantasy football land, Jeremy.
All right. Well, one thing you have to be aware of, I'm sure most people are, as we're half hour away from kickoff, 6 teams on a bye this week.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the biggest bye week we're going to have this season. Cardinals, Packers, Jaguars, Rams, Giants, and Titans all on a bye. So you've definitely got some starters and big names and superstar players and solid backups who are not available in fantasy this week.
Well, not if you're me, because all your players got injured, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. You did get beat up pretty bad this season. But,
this season, every season.
Yeah, be prepared for all those guys being gone. Make sure you don't have any of those teams' players sitting in your lineup. And, there's some guys out there that you could pick up and drop in if you need to. Someone that has a decent matchup this week. Not the most exciting play in fantasy football, but you've got some starting quarterbacks sitting out. And if you need somebody, there's always Josh McCown. He's got the Jets today playing against the Falcons, who don't have a great pass defense. They're going to be at home in New York. So Josh McCown could be a solid start this week if you're missing a quarterback due to the buys and or injuries. A couple of running backs from a team we were just talking about. Marshawn Lynch is out.
I just got a 50-yard field goal, by the way, out of Kai Forbath, so that's good for 5 points.
That's neat.
It's 33-16, by the way. There's your live update in case you're not watching NFL Network.
That barn burner in London.
33-16, the Browns losing again.
Woo.
Yeah.
But, running backs. If you need some running backs help this week because, again, of injuries or all the buys, either one of the guys in Oakland who are going to be filling in for Marshawn Lynch today, Washington or Richard, they're probably going to split carries pretty evenly. I expect, like a 15-15 split between those two. I would go with Richard first.
By the way, that's what I did.
Yeah, I would go with Richard.
I went and picked him up and stuck him in my lineup.
But if you need somebody, Washington's also going to get some carries, and he's going to, maybe see a few looks in the passing game as well. So as a 1 week bye fill-in, either one of those Raiders running backs would be solid this week, I think. I think you'd be okay there either way. So, a couple of inactives, nothing major, but a couple of things I did want to mention, mostly with the Chicago Bears. Earlier this week, they made a trade where they picked up wide receiver Dontrell Inman from San Diego. And you might remember Inman had a really solid season last year when San Diego had a bunch of injuries. He came in, I think he caught something like 60 balls, 800 yards, 6 touchdowns.
He took over for my star receiver, Keenan Allen, who got hurt.
He stepped in and played really well last year. He was like the 4th or 5th guy this year, not cracking the lineup in San Diego, not getting any playing time. So they sent him over to Chicago.
Chicago needs some receiver help.
He's the kind of guy who could step in with Chicago's situation and be their number 1 receiver for the rest of the season. But he's not active this week. He's not ready to play. So if you went out and picked up Inman, don't put him in your lineup. He's not going to be playing today. And if you haven't gone out and picked up Inman and you need some receiver help after this week, definitely someone you want to look at the waiver wire. Like I said, I know they got a rookie quarterback. They're not playing great on offense, but he's probably going to be the target hog there because he's the most talented receiver they have now.
You know what's a funny thing to say? If you've got any Chargers on offense, start them because they're playing the Patriots. Oh, Isn't that a weird thing to say? Hey, you've got the Patriots this week. Make sure you start your players against the Patriots.
If you've got
when the hell have we ever said that?
If you've got Phillip Rivers on your team, unless you have like either Breeze or
Aaron Rodgers. No, wait.
No, Rodgers is out.
I know. I'm kidding.
No, okay, yeah, no. Unless you have like.
Oh, you know how I love Aaron Rodgers.
Unless you have like Drew Brees today, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe Drew Brees. Other than that,
you know who's gonna have a good day today? I think, even though it's wet, Derek Carr. The Buffalo corners are hurt.
Get Phillip Rivers in your lineup.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Rivers is going to go for 350 and 4 touchdowns today. That's my prediction.
I can tell you, if you've got Rivers on your team right now, he is most likely your best starting quarterback for this week. I think he's going to have a huge game against the Patriots. Everyone else has, and I think Rivers will too.
All right. I've got to ask you this, Jeremy. Matthew Stafford, because it's about me. Matthew Stafford is my quarterback today. He's what I've got going. What do you think? Him against the Pittsburgh defense, but they're in Detroit in the Dome. Pittsburgh's defense is not very good.
They're playing
better.
Right. They're playing better. They've gotten better as the season went on. They've actually kept Pittsburgh in some games here recently. The fact that it's in Detroit, I do like Stafford a little bit better. He's at home. He's on his field, on his turf in the Dome. He plays better there than he does on the road, obviously, or outside. He's kind of like Drew Brees in that fact that once he's inside a dome, he's a much better player. So I think he could have a solid game. I think he could be worth, somewhere in the low 20s. He could score you 19 to 23 points a day going up against the Steelers. So that's what I would expect out of Stafford today. He probably, close to 300 yards, maybe two or three touchdowns.
He's projected at 19 points. If he gets me 19 or 20, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I would expect that today out of him against the Steelers defense.
Jalen Richard is only projected at 9 points. I think that's low because I think I know they're saying they're going to split the snaps. I think it's going to be more like 25 him, 15 the other guy. Washington?
Maybe. Yeah, it could be. Honestly, I think what's going to happen is it'll be a hot hand situation. Whichever one of those guys steps in and maybe starts running the ball really well, picks up a couple of big runs, that'll probably be the guy that gets most of the carries. And I think the one who scores the most points will be the guy who might happen to get into the end zone this week.
All right, let me just throw some names out to you and see what your suggestions are. My current receivers, Will Fuller, Nelson Aguilar, Deshaun Jackson. Sitting on my bench, Danny Amendola, New England wide receiver.
Yeah, he's not guaranteed to play today.
Right. Kendall Wright, Chicago wide receiver. Torrey Smith, Philadelphia wide receiver against San Francisco.
Nah, I think you're fine.
Just leave him as is?
I would.
I'm hoping that Deshaun Jackson and Knucklehead get on the same page eventually.
It is gonna take some time, but I think they will, especially the second half of the season.
Hopefully, Will Fuller has a game today, even though they're against Seattle. That one worries me.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Don't over expect
a lot from Will Fuller today.
Yeah, he could. He's played great since he's been back. Absolutely fantastic. He scored in every game. I think he's gonna have a little tougher going today against that Seattle defense in Seattle as well. So
one minute.
Well, we shall see. We shall see what happens. I have been doing very well with changing out my kicker and my defense every week. That's something I've just started to do this year. And it's actually working out quite well for me. I just look for a matchup every week, and I put the defense in that I think has the best matchup of all the defense that are on the scrap heap, and I do the same thing with the kickers. I got 16 points out of Kai Forbath this morning for Minnesota, so happy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I would recommend. If you're able to stream kickers and defenses, just go ahead and do it.
It makes it more interesting, too. I got to tell you, it's kind of fun.
It just depends on your league's free agents and waiver the way they do things. With us,
Your free agency and waiver requirements vary
Yeah.
from league to league. Make sure
does.
you understand the rules in your own league.
exactly. So that's
That's
pretty much-
fantasy.
That's fantasy.
Gotta
today.
go.
If you got any of those good players from those 6 teams on a bye in your lineup, still get them out.
All right, games of the week coming up next here on the Specumetrix Sunday Kickoff Show.
We'll be right back.
Okay, 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Okay, here we go, guys. 10 seconds.
Run your business. Loan Doctor can be reached at 909-230-0024 or evaldez at theloandoctor.loans.
Let's take a look at all of Sunday's action with the latest news and notes on the Specumetrix Kickoff Sunday.
Furry
with
pebbles. Back here on the Specumetrix, what?
Yeah, that went out on the air.
Oh, well, it is, it's what I say. Anyway, back here on the Specumetrix Kickoff Show, not a great Sunday in NFL history.
There are not 2 winning teams playing each other this week.
And there's 6 teams on a bye?
6 teams on
Jeez.
a bye. So we only have 2 afternoon games.
Right.
None of these games have 2 winning teams playing each other.
Okay, so let's get right to it, shall we? Chargers against the Patriots. You and I, we talked about this.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game. We've talked about this game a lot. The Chargers, we think, are going to light up the scoreboard like a pinball machine, and it's going to be something like a 35-33 ending. The Patriots' defense has not been great, and they're dinged up. They lost their all-world linebacker, so who knows? Phillip Rivers could go off today.
He very well could. He could have a huge game.
And it would be such a Rivers thing to go for 350, 4 touchdowns, and lose.
I hope they do.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen today. Bears against the Saints. The Bears have been a really nice surprise, except what did Trubisky have? 3 completed passes in the last game? I think something like that.
I think he had 4.
He had 4 completed passes?
4 of 7.
4 of 7?
Yeah.
Okay. The Saints come in. The question is, what are the Saints going to do on the road, outdoors? They generally don't play well. The Bears have been playing some defense.
Well, no. The Bears are at the Saints.
I'm sorry. Bears are at the Saints. Oh, God. Well, never mind. I'm completely changing my mind then.
Yeah.
The Bears are going to get blown out.
Yeah, they're at the Saints.
Yes, it's going to be 42-17, New Orleans. All right, Panthers and the Buccaneers. This one is being played in Tampa Bay. Carolina has been getting better, except Cam Newton is still an idiot. See, he walked out on a press conference this week.
Next question, please.
Exactly. Panthers and the Buccaneers. Well, I'm at a loss on this one, and I really don't care. Neither one of these teams is really going anywhere. Whatever. Colts and the Bengals, another game.
You say neither one of those teams are going anywhere, but that division is wide open.
I know, but
open.
even if they win, even if one of the here's my point. No matter who wins that division, they're out in the first round.
Yeah, probably.
They're not. It's not a competitive division. It's a bad division with a bunch of flawed teams. By the way, where the hell is McCaffrey? He was a big draft pick for them, and they have not figured out how to use him at all.
He's had a couple of good games here and there, but no, he has not been a major part of the game plan. Not like people hoped he would be.
Colts at the Bengals. By the way, the Andrew Luck trade rumors are heating up.
Really?
Yes, in my mind.
In your mind?
In my mind.
In your mind?
Yeah,
Okay.
in my mind. In my mind, the Andrew Luck trade rumors are heating up. I'm just really frustrated. I watch college football, and I saw Andrew Luck play in a bunch of big games. He was great. He looks the part. In the one playoff game that I saw him get, he led a comeback, 44. One of the great plays I've ever seen where the ball got fumbled by the center on the snap. It pops up in the air. Luck grabs it, runs into the line, forces his way into the end zone for a touchdown. The guy is an all-world talent, and Indianapolis sucks. Indy is not going to get any better unless they bring in a bunch of players. Here's what I'm calling for. Somebody like the Denver Broncos who needs a quarterback, and you have just about everything else. Give up a first, a second, and a third and trade for Andrew Luck. Please get Andrew Luck out of Indianapolis. I want to see him go deep in the playoffs.
You need to talk all that or stop all that.
I know that Denver talk. I know.
That Luck to the Bronco talk needs to just end right there.
I know, because then the Raiders would face Rivers, Luck,
There's other
Alex
teams.
Smith. There are other teams that can pick him up, but I'm just saying the guy most likely to do it in my mind is John Elway. Where did Elway play? Stanford. Where did Luck play? Stanford. Yeah. They know each other. There's a relationship there. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked.
If I'm an NFL team right now, as things are standing this season, and Andrew Luck is available for a trade, if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars,
oh yeah,
I'm throwing everything I can.
Your defense is great. You've got an all-world running back. You got a couple of good receivers. If you just had a quarterback who could play pretty well, you're instant playoff team.
And that's why I think Jacksonville might be one of those teams that could be in the running next season for one of these old guys that are going to switch teams.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Manning and Breeze, maybe Rivers. One of these guys are going to be moving teams.
Eli Manning, you know what? If you're the Giants, you're not going anywhere. I personally, if I'm the Giants, you want to talk about a blockbuster thing to do? Put Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. on the trade block.
Just blow it up, start over.
Blow it up, start over. I bet you could get a fourth and a fifth for Eli and a first, second, and a third for Odell.
I don't think you can get that much for Odell, but you maybe get a first and a second the following year, or a first and a third, something like that.
Well, but think about it. You would 2 firsts, 2 seconds, four draft picks in the top 35.
No. With moving those 2 guys could get you some draft picks to rebuild a lot quicker than you.
You need offensive line. You need honestly. I don't want Odell Beckham Jr. on my team. That's just me. I think he's a head case, and I don't want him.
And he might be hard to move because of that.
Yeah, there's that. 49ers play the Eagles.
This is
wow.
This is a matchup of the team with the best record in the NFL versus a team with the worst.
No, the worst record in the NFL is now the Browns because they already lost today.
Well, yeah. But, yeah.
Just saying. Going into the weekend, the team with the worst record in the NFL was the 49ers.
Tied for the worst record, yes.
Falcons and the Jets. This one is interesting because if the Falcons lose again, they're officially a dumpster fire.
Because they're already what? 3 and 3?
Yeah, 3-3, I think.
Yeah.
They have at least 3 losses.
Yeah, 3-4 coming off a Super Bowl appearance the previous season. That's gonna that would register as a dumpster fire at this point. That'd be one of those.
Wow, we didn't see that coming.
Post Super Bowl flops.
Yeah, the Falcons quite possibly. I think the Jets beat them. I do. I mean,
the Jets are favored.
Well, no, it's Falcons plus 7.
That's right. The
Falcons plus 7. Jets at home. It's raining. It's bad weather. The Falcons have not been playing well. They look a bit sort of disjointed. The Jets are playing hard for Todd Bowles. It's a bunch of no-name guys that are somehow getting it done. I don't know. Give me the Jets at home in the upset, I think, but at least take the 7 points. Texans and the Seahawks. This one is in Seattle. That makes it tough on Texas. Boy, Seattle is so tough at home. But that Deshaun Jackson kid, he can make it happen with his feet. He can make it happen with his arm.
You mean Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Jackson. Michael Jackson. You know that guy. Anyway. Woo! So, Deshaun Watson, I think, could have a really good game today.
He could, but again, he could also struggle.
It's also the Legion of Boom.
He's playing great. He's fun to watch.
God, I hate that guy.
But there is a
Richard Sherman jerk.
He is a young rookie quarterback going into Seattle, which is a tough place to play. I think he's going to play decent. I think he's going to put up some.
How many points does Texas put up today? 24?
I was about to say 23.
24, 23?
Yeah.
And the Seahawks don't score points.
No, they don't score a lot. But the Texans defense is also dinged up after losing some major players.
They have lost some major players, but they didn't lose that much of a step in terms of how they've been playing.
No.
So
interesting matchup.
They played all last year without J.J. Watt, and we're still a really good defense.
Well, let's hope it's a good game because it's one of the 2 to choose from.
Because the other one you have is the boys and the Skins.
That division game could be.
I would love to pick the Redskins in this game, but I just can't. Cowboys -1. It's basically a pick 'em.
It's in Washington.
Yeah, I don't know. The Cowboys. Maybe I'm reading too much into the Cowboys beat down of the 49ers. So the 49ers are terrible, but they sure looked good last week. Sunday Night Football, Steelers-Lions. I have been on the Lions all season, and I'm officially off. They're just not
doing it for you.
They're not doing it. They're not putting it together. They're not getting better.
They're not taking that next step.
They're just not taking the next step. They're not regressing. They're the Lions. They're treading water.
Yeah.
They're 8-8, 7-9.
They're a middling team.
Yeah. And the Steelers got a lot better last week. Broncos, Chefs. I would love to pick the Broncos in this game, but I don't see it happening.
Hey, I don't know if Oakland could beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Broncos, though, the one place on your team you really can't suck is quarterback, and they suck at quarterback.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it may be time to put Brock Osweiler back in.
They have to trade for him.
No, he's back at Denver.
Is he?
Yes, Osweiler went back to Denver after he got cut by – remember, he was cut by Houston. So here's the Brock Osweiler saga. Promoted to starting in Denver after a legend. Decide, I don't want to start there. I'm going to go to the Texans. Texans sign you for $72 million, $40 million guaranteed. You last half a season, get benched for a guy who sounds like let's just say he'd be in a special kind of film, Tom Savage. So Tom Savage takes over for you. You get cut for basically a bag of footballs and sent to Cleveland. Cleveland thinks you suck so bad, they just flat out release you. And now you're back with Denver as the third string quarterback. But you're $40 million richer.
Hey, you got some fat cash in your pocket.
Absolutely. Broncos, Chiefs. Where's this game being played?
In Kansas City.
Yeah, that's going to be ugly, I think. Kansas City, I think, comes back after the extra day's rest and puts a beat down on the Broncos in Kansas City. I'm going to say 35-13 Kansas City on Monday night. Hey, enjoy your football, everybody. And again, shout out to my lovely wife, Nicole. Happy birthday.
And a happy Halloween.
Happy
everyone.
Halloween to everybody. Have a great time with your son, Xander, Jeremy.
Yep, going up to Grandma's for Halloween. It's going to be a good time. And enjoy your Sunday.
Go football. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us for another.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great week. Be safe on Halloween.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Take care.
Bye.